Hello, my name is Kaylee Bowers. Welcome to this leadership skills seminar. Today we are going to learn about 5 leadership models together so we can all be prepared to become better leaders. The 5 models are values-based leadership, servant leadership, 360 leadership, embrace your Howard, and sustainable leadership. Here are some images that we are going to look at throughout the seminar to help each of you remember the leadership models you learned today. The first model we are going to explore is values-based leadership. Take this time to write down your top 5 values. It is important to know what your values are in order to be moving in the right direction. If you are working toward a larger goal, it is important to keep that goal in mind while working. Now take a look at the 5 values you wrote down and ask yourself, is the way you lead reflecting these values? An example of this would be if your value is in education. Do you reflect the importance of education to those who you are leading? The second model we will learn today is servant leadership. Consider what servant leadership means to you. Go ahead and write that down. Leading with a servant heart looks differently than leading with different motivations. Being a servant leader means putting the people you are leading first. It means leading by example and being willing to do everything you ask them to do. If you're not willing to do the work you ask others to do, what kind of leader does that make you? Overall, servant leadership is a desire to help and serve those you are leading. The goal may no longer be a project, but the success of everyone in the group. The 360 leadership model is the next leadership model we will talk about. The emphasis of the 360 leadership model is to lead in all directions. Leading downwards is leading people that you're in charge of, and most of us think of this. The other 2 directions are often overlooked. According to this model, we are also called to lead our peers. This is leading side to side. In order to do this, we should invest in relational chemistry and know when to push and when to back off in situations. Leaders should work together as a team toward a common goal, and it is important to be aware of your relationships with your peers in order to do this. Leading upward would be leading and helping your superiors. A way to do this is to lighten your leader's load by helping them with various tasks. Also, it is important to be prepared every time you take your leader's time. The 4th model is not so much a model as a lesson to be learned. First, I will read you a short story. Howard was my nemesis in my undergraduate fraternity chapter. We liked each other well enough, but not a lot. We didn't hang out. He would have helped me out of a jam, and I would have helped him. We were brothers, but not buddies. Howard enjoyed pushing my buttons. We both had very large personalities, so we became competitors. If I was working on something, he would love to throw a curveball into the mix. He could make a joke that could have completely pushed my buttons and undermine everything I was trying to accomplish. If Howard didn't like an idea, the half of the chapter that liked him better than me wouldn't like the idea either. Dealing with Howard was a necessary evil most days. No one has made me roll my eyes more. No one has elicited more deep sighs of frustration. Howard was a social guy, extremely concerned about what the sororities thought, and deeply committed to the fun side of fraternity. I was the overachieving student leader, deeply concerned about awards, the right ways to do things, and what our campus image was. I was the worker bee, and he was the party boy. We were constantly at odds. We both wanted what was best for our group, but we had widely divergent ideas about what the best thing was. If he wanted to go left, I wanted to go right. No matter what one wanted, the other would raise an eyebrow or make a critical comment. After hearing that story, please take a moment to write down someone in your life who is your Howard. And think about how that Howard's perspectives could help you better lead your team. So I urge you to become friends with your Howard so you two can work together and lead as a solid team. The final leadership model we will review today is sustainable leadership. This leadership model reminds us to think of what we would want our legacy to be and to lead a life that reflects what we want to be remembered for. If your desire is to leave a legacy of servitude and love, then the way you lead should reflect that. I encourage you to take time now to write down what you want to be remembered for, and write a few ways that you could convey that legacy to others. Thank you so much for joining me today at this leadership seminar. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now I ask you to go out and lead.
Created using Powtoon.